Hey, what's up everybody? Courtney here with a home workout that is inspired in many ways from the yoga practice, but using some smaller weights. So anything between maybe 2 pounds in each hand if you're new to lifting, up to roughly 10, 12 if you are a seasoned weightlifter. So with that said, we're gonna bring one dumbbell into each hand. You're gonna set your feet up so that they're about yoga mat width. If you've got your mat out, it can give you some good information about placement throughout this workout. Now you're gonna sit your hips back, moving into a stationary squat, very similar to chair if you're a yogi, but generally not a weightlifter. Standing on your right foot, we're gonna pick up our left knee, palms spin up, and we're weaving in a bicep curl with that balance. Now again, feet to the ground, anywhere from shoulder to mat width. Hips back, chest does come slightly forward. Standing on that left foot, picking up the right knee, and maybe weaving in your bicep curl. Now if the curl's too much, put the weights down and just work the legs. Squat. Breathing in. Lifting the knee, lifting those arms, bicep curl. Now slow and steady on the way down and the way up. Never feeling rushed, nor held back if you're going a little faster, all good. In total, somewhere between 10 and 12 for this first set. If you've lost count, 2 to 3 more. Finishing up on this side or the next. And then keeping our weights, you're gonna stand tall. Think of mountain pose in yoga. Feet roughly hip to shoulder width. Reach the toes forward, inner thighs back. Bend, re-extend the knees so we're not locking at the joint. Finding that release, that micro bend, so to speak. Passing through a hammer curl, palms facing each other, and then pressing the arms all the way up to the sky from there. 5 of these. Breathing in, breathing out. Hammer curl, shoulder press, everything roughly shoulder width. Similar alignment to things like chaturanga. Feeling the arms hugging the midline. But keeping that mobility, that range of motion across your chest, your heart center. And if you've lost count, 2 to 3 more. Just about 5, 6 or so. Same idea here, joining palms in a way that your weights come toward each other. If you're not using weights, the whole hand could touch. Bending at the elbow, hands move toward that mid-back region. And then slow and steady, push the arms towards straight without jamming at the joint. Bending and extending. Noting we have that tendency to lose mountain pose. Do think of lengthening the tail, lifting the heart, the crown of your head. Being mindful that it's easy to bonk the head with the weights here. So playing it safe, maybe a lighter weight if you're brand new. Noting you might have to bump it down for triceps, up for biceps to feel the challenge. You can always weave in another rep, 2. Last cycles. Weights are coming all the way down. Heel till your feet as wide as the mat or even wider. Slide your hands somewhere behind your head and neck. Let the body melt toward the thighs. We're simply releasing, stretching any tension that crept in. Feeling this balance of building strength without straining. And whether you're in shoes or not, brighten toes, wake up the feet, grounding through the 4 corners, dropping the arms. Roll or lengthen with me for the next breath or 2. And then do shrug and release for a breath or 2. And before we lose too much heat, motivation, let's do it all again. You can always bump the weight up or down based on how you're feeling. Just to be clear, at the moment I've got my 8s in each hand. Some days 6s are enough. Other days I like to bring it up to about 10 or 12. Moving into the squat, bicep curl with the balance. Or of course, option to do this without weight, still mimicking the arms, or maybe hands are at your hips, by your sides. Breathing in, breathing out. Stationary squats are a lot like a broad-legged chair pose in yoga. And that knee lift, nicknamed flamingo, we often pass through it on our way to things like tree, standing twists, etc. in the yoga practice. Backing off when you need to, bringing in that wisdom, and using this principle of sadhyaya, self-study. Can you push your edge without going past it? Maybe that means you do a few more, maybe that means enough is enough. And weave in some alternating of the arms. A little bit more bicep work here. Taking the left and the right, slow and steady. Try not to just drop the hand, drop the weight, but instead control it on both the concentric and the eccentric actions. If it's feeling okay for these last few, maybe you do squeeze at the top, finding a little more isometric work. And again, even slower on the way to the bottom. And then palms spinning in, maybe shrug, release first. Hammer curl, shoulder press second. When you're around 5, 6, 7 of these, really going for quality over quantity. Breathing in, breathing out. Feeling that support from the front to the back, the core of you staying engaged. And at this point, maybe 1, 2 more at most. And then you're going to keep the arms elevated, reaching up, bringing the weights together, palms moving toward each other. Mountain pose from the feet to the crown, bending and extending. Again, roughly 5, 6, 7 of these in total. Working into the triceps, balancing all of that efforting in the biceps. Sometimes less weight is more, as far as benefit, strengthening without straining. Building, progressing slowly, not feeling like you have to keep up. If you've been away from your weights or it's something you've never really worked with, starting with a lower number and increasing that over time is key to long-term success. And it is a good thing to lift a little heavier on days when we're feeling strong, but really checking in with what you need and moving accordingly. Let's bring the weights all the way down, eventually reach the arms all the way up. Stretching some of that out, bend one elbow, lean your head back, gently draw your heart forward. Soft face, soft jaw, maybe flutter it out. We'll switch sides, just reaching, opening the tricep, the chest, maybe even your abdominals, your belly. Leaning the head back, the heart forward, one more big inhale. Maybe flutter it out. And stretching the arms up and eventually all the way back and down to interlace the fingers. Send your knuckles down, lift your chest up, and just peek over one shoulder for a breath, 2. And then eventually the other. Stretching into the biceps, the shoulders, that area where it connects. And maybe bring that heart opening into a little more hamstring, glute, and back body stretching. Arms reaching gently up and over, maybe to one side, then the other. Always bend into the knees a little more, or even a lot more. Hanging as long as you need to release. And then, of course, rolling or lengthening to come up. Letting that be enough for now, or maybe taking one more set of the squat to bicep curls, the tricep extensions, weaving in the alternating work, or of course the hammer curl, shoulder press in between. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Namaste.